Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome back to 7th Street. Yes, it's been a few days since I've done one of these. And what I say, man, if if I get bored and I start feeling like some pressure to perform with YouTube videos, I'll just like stop doing them. I don't know why. I've been busy finishing up the edit for the Lizzie Borden game, feature horror film, the most recent one that 7th Street Productions has done. And it'll be coming out through Breaking Glass Pictures probably in the next few months. But I've been getting that ready to basically send off to the acquisitions department. Started doing some commercial work, directing some commercial videos for dental office here in the Northwest. And yeah, I've just kind of been busy working on a couple of other little projects. Definitely visit 7th Street Production or 7thstreetfilms.com and check out some of the other projects that are in pre-production right now, trying to get some funding for a movie called Late Bloomer, which is a remake of a Japanese horror film. It's we actually acquired the rights from Shima Films. It's a Japanese film about a paraplegic serial killer, basically, in a nutshell. And we acquired the rights to remake the film. And right now we're working on getting the full funding for it. Anyway, so that's kind of my explanation for why, if I start feeling some kind of pressure on myself to perform with these videos, I'll just, fuck it, But yeah, with my birthday coming up, I've been kind of looking at some stuff that I wanted to buy. I try to treat myself for my birthday and get like some big box VHS tapes and stuff, which has kind of gotten me thinking more and more about big boxes, and just kind of what's on my wish list. And it makes me to kind of rant on a different but similar topic. Man, the market for VHS tapes is just so crazy now, bro. It's so fucking crazy now. And, like, I don't know, it just didn't used to be this way. I feel like, you used to be able to get, well, I know you used to be able to get tapes really easily, especially, like, big boxes. It just wasn't that expensive. And it's kind of almost like, I've seen the same thing happen with, like, sports cards and I guess, like, Pokemon cards and shit. After COVID, it's like all this kind of collectible stuff just, like, went through the fucking roof. People, like, started feeling some nostalgia for certain things, records, VHS tapes, sports cards, that kind of stuff. And now everybody's, like, doing it for, like, an investment, and everybody's, like, grading VHS tapes. Like, I get grading a sports card. I do. That's the one kind of area where I'm like, okay, I kind of understand that. Like, having a pristine Luka Doncic rookie card is pretty fucking cool. But a VHS tape? Come on, bro. I am so fucking against VHS grading. It's doing nothing but drive the price up for this kind of stuff. And I feel like the people who are actually into like getting graded VHS tapes, just, I don't know. I just feel like they're not real, like, movie fans or collectors. I don't know. I could be, I'm just talking out my ass here. Off the cuff, but right now, like, my general feeling is just that it's like it's gone too far, because like back in the day, And when I say back in the day, I mean like 2015, 2010 through 2015. But, you used to be able to get this stuff pretty cheaply. You used to be able to haggle with people. Spending more than $20 on something, even like a big box that was like in rough shape, was like not something that you were gonna do. And nowadays, like, I don't mean to call anybody out online, but you got like, there is like currently a big box of H.G. Lewis's Blood Feast, the comic release of it, and it's like torn. It's like there's like no front cover anymore. Like a quarter of it has been torn off, and the guy is asking for $70 for it. $70. Some of the shit that I have that's like in real rough shape. Some of the stuff that I'll get to eventually, but like this Human Vapors, Video Gems big box. It's like like kind of beat, and I think I paid like $5 for that. I was like, no fucking way am I gonna pay, even $10 for something like that. And nowadays it's just like gone through the roof because everybody's doing it, I feel like, to make money, to get something to sell. I'm going to Crypticon Seattle next month, first weekend of May. I've got a film that's playing there, and it's held in Seattle, Washington, obviously, one of the biggest horror film festivals and conventions on the West Coast. And there's a lot of people in that from the documentary Adjust Your Tracking, which I am a fan of. I am a fan of that documentary, but as time has gone on, I feel like that has done more harm than good, and like the whole Tales from the Quadead Zone, selling for that much money, for like $666. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's just made it like a novelty now, and now you've just got a lot of posers collecting this stuff and trying to just make money off of it. I mean, right now on eBay, there's a listing for a signed VHS tape of Tales from the Quadead Zone selling for $50,000. And of course, in the headline, it's like, oh, it's perfect to get graded. It's like, come on, bro. This shit is ridiculous. I don't know. I think it's just a little bit of a bummer. It makes it hard to collect. It makes it a little bit less fun to collect because I feel like, I don't know. I feel, and I don't mean to be like a hipster or a contrarian or something, but I just think it was better when the only people who were doing this were like big horror movie fans, people who wanted to watch the VHS tapes that they bought online, that it wasn't that expensive, that most people like kind of didn't get it, didn't understand why we wanted to collect VHS tapes. Now I feel like everybody, there's just like YouTube videos all over the place, people who run eBay stores saying, oh, if you find Slashaway Camp with the gatefold, you can sell that for a lot of money. And now it's like, Sleepaway Camp? Is my media release of fucking Sleepaway Camp, where the fuck is it? See, I should prep these videos better. Where the motherfuck? And then I always see it when I'm like rewatching these. I have it some. Oh, it's over here. Are you telling me that my Sleepaway Camp with the gatefold on the bottom, this is like one of the most expensive things in my collection? I think that was just like a throw-in in a lot that I got at one point. It's just ridiculous, man. There's just, I don't know. It makes it a little bit less fun when you're looking around online and it's like, I can't even get anything for $30. I can't get a big box for $30. And these are like beat up and sun bleached, and people are like, oh, I want $100 for it. Get out of here. Get the fuck out of here. It's like the same thing as all the weird people who like critique YouTube videos, just like these random people who pop in, you know. And clearly I do like really niche stuff, so it's not like I'm just getting casual YouTube people. I'm getting people who have an interest in like horror or obscure horror. And, you know, like recently I did recently I got this comment. It's an old video where I was just doing like public domain horror films that I think are like the best. And I don't know. Years ago I was like, Carnival of Souls is like a newly dubbed classic. Just a throwaway line. I don't know. I just said it. I just wrote it in the script. And yeah, this guy just recently like commented and was like, a newly dubbed classic. It's been a classic forever. Do some research. Like, what the fuck, dude? I'm just doing this for fun, you know? Don't come down and critique the way you suck dick in an alley. Don't critique my... Don't critique my little hobby that I'm doing. You know, you don't like it and just fuck off. You think I'm an idiot, just fuck off. Sorry. I don't mean to be in a bad mood. Anyway, so I started getting to thinking about big boxes and looking at stuff. Everything's so fucking expensive. So that's kind of been on my mind. I'm just like highlighting stuff in my collection that I really like. And when I was looking through, I was reminded how much, and this is a really beat up copy, how much I love this Paragon release of 5 Bloody Graves. I love this VHS cover so much. I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, whoa. This looks awesome. There's no way it's going to actually be like this, right? I think that Bone Tomahawk had come out around the time that I got this. And I was like, is that what this is? A Western horror film? 5 Bloody Graves. You've got, you know, the Grim Reaper back there. I think, honestly, this is one of my favorite, like, artworks that have been done for a VHS. I don't know if this is the original poster artwork. I don't know. I maybe Paragon did this artwork, but god damn, I love this cover. And then on the back there, you've got one of the Native Americans killing and skinning someone, and then you've got gosh, I don't even know what to refer to him as in this video. They call him a half-breed. His death scene in the movie. The movie doesn't star anybody that I'm overly familiar with, other than John Carradine, and he's credited quite a bit. He's actually a co-producer, I think, on this movie. Yeah, God, I just love this big box. And this is the only Paragon release that I have in my collection. I was looking around for some other slip sleeves, and I don't have any other Paragon releases. And I know that I don't think that Paragon did very many big boxes either. I'm not exactly sure why. I think that maybe by the time they jumped into it, maybe the big box trend was already dying. I mean, it's also possible that, you know, Paragon didn't really seem to be one of, like, the heavy hitters. So it could just be one of those things where it's just, like, not as cost effective to, like, use this much more cardboard and have to, you know, get a clamshell. And it's quite a bit. I mean, it's quite an investment to go with this big box. And the funny thing is that, you know, the big boxes did not work. You know, the idea there obviously is, well, you know, we need to make money in the video store, and why don't we just make the box and the cover bigger? This is a garbagey movie. We'll just give it a cool poster and people will buy it. And I don't think it worked that well because they stopped doing it. It was fairly short-lived. And I remember asking my dad, who, you know, is a movie fan. He's an artist as well. He's the one who kind of introduced me to a lot of this stuff. I asked him about big boxes, and he was like, well, like, I mean, like, clamshell. I know, like, I remember a lot of clamshells. And I was like, no, come on. You were a teenager in the 80s. And you liked this kind of shit, like a big box. And he's like, I guess, like, you would, like, fold it out, and then it's, like, sitting on the inside. It's like, no, that's not quite what I'm talking about. Like a big box, like a big fat VHS box, and it's got a clamshell inside of it. And he's like, no, I don't really remember them all that much. They weren't that memorable. It's like, sure, I know what you're talking about. I can recall seeing them, mostly like porno, not really. And I think that it just did not work. It was a marketing idea that didn't work as well as we VHS collectors like to think it worked. Anyhow, yeah, let's stop talking about this. I mean, I don't know. I guess, take another good look at this. This is just an amazing cover. I'm so glad. I think that this is like one of the coolest big boxes that I've ever seen. I love this cover. When I first saw it, I had to have it. Makes me want to get some other Paragon releases. It hasn't really been one that's a company that's been like super on my radar. I'm usually trying to get like Midnight Video and Wizard, obviously. I would like to get the H.G. Lewis Comet stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could go on and on. I do quite like Video Gems, too. That's one of my favorite releasing companies. But this is just amazing. She's a little beat. She's a beat old girl, especially from the back. She got a little beat in the back. But, I give her a good home, and I cherish this big box. It's a beautiful, beautiful big box. All right. Let's briefly talk about this movie.
The shocking scenes you are about to see are not suggested for the weak or immature. If you cannot take it, we advise you to now patronize the concession stand or look away from the screen during this preview of 5 Bloody Graves.
All right, yeah, so 5 Bloody Graves. This is an Al Adamson movie. If you don't know who Al Adamson is, one of my favorite Al Adamson movies is Dracula versus Frankenstein. I've done a whole reference this film episode on this movie. This is the Very Strange Video VHS release of this. I love this too. This is my very favorite Al Adamson movie. 5 Bloody Graves might be my second favorite of his films. He did a lot of kind of schlocky stuff in the 70s. And, I think that he is pretty popular. I think most people know who he is and know of his films. 5 Bloody Graves doesn't seem to be one of them. You really can't find it anywhere. I think that it got a very limited Blu-ray release, but the only way that I've ever seen this movie has been this VHS tape. And I have a burner, so I have just burned it to a DVD, and that's how I'll watch it. But this movie is interesting. It's kind of, in a way, almost like a bunch of Western vignettes. I think what happened with this movie, I didn't really research it. This is just, just watching it. I do know that it was made, I think in like 1967 and wasn't released till 69. My guess is that this movie was never really finished. It's not boring, but it does kind of meander through these little vignettes. There's kind of an overarching story with main character, a cowboy guy whose wife got killed by these Native Americans. Like a bullet that was meant for him killed his wife. And now he's kind of like desperado guy who goes through the desert, and he's the Lone Ranger, I suppose. And then what we kind of get are like a series of different situations that happen that all kind of end up becoming a little bit intermingled. There is a guy who's half Native American and half white, and he has a Native American wife, and he's like kind of friends with the main character. What is the main character's name? Let's see. I can't keep him. Ben Thompson. So he's kind of like friends with Ben Thompson, and they kind of have a scene, and then they go off, and Native American wife ends up being killed by like these two kind of desperado guys. They like rape and murder this Native American woman in the desert, and then that kind of causes the half Native American guy, the husband, to like go on like a little bit of a rampage, and him and Ben Thompson are looking for who did it. All the while they're kind of like having these little fights with the Native Americans in the area who are like killing and scalping people, which is pretty cool. The cool thing about this movie is it is really violent. It is very much a grindhouse movie, which is great. It is it's like a little bit like Bone Tomahawk that way, where it's like it's a Western at its core, but it has these very grimy, seedy, bloody elements to it, these kind of horror movie elements to it, which make it really interesting, and it's not a bad movie. Anyway, so there's kind of all these different like little kind of subplot storylines sort of going on, but it all kind of leads to there's like this guy who owns like a saloon, like a prostitution ring, and like his covered wagon gets attacked by Native Americans, and it's kind of almost like a siege movie a little bit like Night of the Living Dead, where they're just like fending off these Native Americans, and then Ben Thompson, the half Native American guy, and the like desperados who killed the half Native American guy's wife all kind of converge and meet with this group. John Carradine is also there playing like an alcoholic priest, and they kind of just find themselves like fighting off these invading Native Americans who are trying to kill and scalp them. But along the way, it's kind of like a normal siege movie where they kind of start to turn on each other. The one guy figures out that these kind of desperados are the ones who raped and murdered his wife, so he gets revenge on them. He kind of like ties the one guy up on a rock and like leaves him for the ants to eat him.
I want to thank you for shooting her. You're going to find out that death by ants is very slow. No! 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 No!
It's pretty cool. It's I'm not like a huge Western fan. I wouldn't rule it out. I do like some classic Westerns. I love spaghetti Westerns. Tombstone is one of my favorite movies, but I wouldn't say that I'm like a huge programmer Western. I don't enjoy a low-budget Western the same way I enjoy a low-budget horror movie. But this one was good. I was thoroughly entertained throughout it. I can certainly see where, like who was it made for? I think that it's too grimy and too violent and has too many like odd horror elements to be like just strictly for Western fans. It doesn't have enough horror elements to be for horror fans, and it seems like it was unfinished. And then what they ended up doing was doing this voiceover narration, which is supposed to be Death, who's talking about how, like, I don't know, Death rides with all these people. And it's kind of cheesy. The one thing I was disappointed about, and I know when I got this, I was way too old to get tricked by a cover, but I was a little bummed that, like, Death is not an actual character in this. It's just a voiceover, a bad voiceover too, not the voice of Death. But yeah, I mean, there's like a little twist at the end where like Ben falls in love with this like prostitute girl, and then she ends up taking a bullet for him from one of the Native Americans. So it's almost like dude just can't catch a break. First his wife, and now some hoe that he found in the desert. I feel bad for him. And that's kind of how the movie ends. It kind of ends how it began, with Ben kind of riding off alone to be kind of like this gunslinger character. Like I said, the film was like made, I think, in 67 and then released in 69 or 70. I think, but it's something like that. It was something where it was like made, I think it was unfinished. Probably couldn't get it sold. They're like, the fuck are we gonna do with this? And then eventually just released it, probably to just like some grindhouse drive-in kind of venue. Because it's pretty sleazy. Also, I can imagine, I mean, it's not like the 69, 70 was like the best example of like sensitivity, but I think the difference between 1966, 67, and 1970, I think I probably was quite a bit different. There is a lot of, it's not blackface, but I'm trying to be careful about what I say here, but all of the Native American people, I don't mean to laugh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. All of the Native American people are white, very, very obviously white. It's so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing. The reason I'm laughing is because the image sticks out in my head, and the Native American woman that gets killed by the desperados, gets raped and murdered. She looks exactly like Dee Reynolds in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. When they're doing the Lethal Weapon movie, it's exact. It looks exactly like Caitlin Olsen in blackface, but they're so serious too. Like, all the actors are like serious as a heart attack making this movie too. It's I think Al Adamson was like trying with this too. And the oh man, it's bad. It's pretty bad. The blackface is bad. I'm sorry, man. It's the image is just like laugh out loud funny. It's fucked up. It's super fucked up that people used to do that. I don't agree with it at all. I am so against that. I come from a mixed race family, and that's a bad excuse. Fuck that. I'm not cut that out. But you kind of like, I don't know. These movies certainly have the right to exist. I also disagree with cruelty to animals and animal violence in film, and I'm not particularly a fan of sexual violence or anything like that in movies, but I think they certainly deserve the right to exist. And I think that, like Rod Serling says, the minute that we just get rid of this stuff is the minute that everyone will forget that we used to do this. That, they made a movie in California in 1966 and still just decided to like cast all white people, even though they had like half of the cast were supposed to be like Native American. Like, oh God, come on, couldn't have even tried. So I mean, I think it is important for that you do look at that and you go, that's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up that they put Caitlin Olsen in blackface. That's terrible. Definitely recommend this movie. I also recommend checking out this documentary about Al Adamson. I wasn't aware of what happened to him. I think it was the early 2000s. I'm not exactly sure. But he was murdered by, like, his friends. And the carpenter guy who, like, Al Adamson was, like, rich from making these movies, good investments, I guess. And, Yeah, he was like murdered and buried under the floor of his house. He like lived one of the horror movies that he made. Crazy. Definitely check out that documentary as well. I forget what it's called, but look it up. Al Adamson documentary. Yeah, 5 Bloody Graves. I recommend it. I definitely recommend it. I think it's not for everybody, but what I will say is it's not boring. It's definitely not boring. So, good movie, unique movie, not boring, good, unique, grindhouse, drive-in, grimy Western. Good movie, and fucking incredible big box. Fucking incredible big box release from Paragon. Pick this up. It's hard to watch. It's not, I think you have to get some out of print Blu-ray, or you gotta get this big box. So pick up the big box, man. It's super worth it. One of my favorite things in my collection. I mean, it's making episode 4 of my VHS collection spotlight. So, wow, 31 minutes. That ended up being longer than I thought. I didn't think I was going to have that much to talk about, but, I went on a rant for a while about the VHS collecting community and douchey people on YouTube. So, yeah, stand strong, community, lowball all the people on eBay for their tapes, and say no to VHS grading. Until next time.